for the United States? Do you want to live abroad in Thailand? Have you been considering moving to Thailand? Because if you have, you are in for such a treat today. Because today we're going to be talking to a woman named Kanisha, who I actually met in Thailand a year ago. And we're going to be talking all about her life in Thailand. We're going to be talking about her living abroad journey, her moving abroad journey, and all of that. So make sure that y'all stay tuned. And just in case you have no idea who I am, if you've never been in any of my videos before, my name is Bianca, and me and my husband left the United States last year, February 2024, to live abroad as digital nomads. Digital nomads just meaning that we can work and live anywhere, right? Like we can work from anywhere. And since we left the United States last year, February 2024, we have literally traveled to 10 different countries, y'all. 10 different countries. And it's been a whirlwind. And I have been bringing y'all on the journey with me. I have been showing y'all the behind the scenes of travel, living abroad, all of that. And yeah, I'm really excited that today we're going to get to talk to Kanisha because I love Thailand. I get a lot of questions about Thailand. And yeah, now you're going to get to talk to somebody who is actually behind the scenes doing it. Hello, Michaela. So as soon as Kanisha joins, oh God, my bad. I'm like spitting already. Y'all hear my excitement? As soon as Kanisha joins, we are going to invite her in and we're going to be talking all things living abroad, all things Thailand. So whatever questions you have about living abroad, any questions you have about living specifically in Thailand, go ahead and get your questions ready. And yeah, I'm going to be asking her more about her journey and all of that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. Except I don't see her in here yet. Okay, as soon as she's in, I will go ahead and Miss Saucy. What you talking about, Michaela? Wait, you don't want me to call you Michaela? Is that what it is? What are you saying? I see like less than Miss Saucy. What am I missing here? And good afternoon. I'm like, well, it's still morning for me. I'm currently in Mexico right now, but so I'm on Mountain Time, which you hear Mountain Time in the US and you're like, what is that? But yeah, I'm currently on Mountain Time right now, which is 2 hours behind EST. So it's 11 a.m. So we are still kind of in the morning. Oh, I was just letting you know who I am. Oh yes, I know who you are. I know who you are. We've been doing this, okay? You've been in my lives on here and on TikTok. I feel like every time I go live on Instagram, I'm like, look at me on Instagram. Cause you know where I be at for real. Well, let me stop. I need to stop doing that. I be so toxic getting on here talking about the other platform. That's probably why Instagram be repressing my views. They be like, oh, she talking about the competitor. So let me shut up. Okay, let me see where Kanisha is. Not as saying pause because you weren't using the app. Oh, thank you for the heart. I'm like, how do hearts work over here? I'm still learning Instagram Live. I feel like it's been I don't know. I just feel like it's been some time. But while we're waiting on Kanisha, y'all can also ask me any questions that y'all have about moving abroad, living abroad, etc. I'm always happy to share more about my journey. If there are any questions that I can answer, then I will always try to do so. I will always be very honest with you. Moving abroad, traveling, it's a big topic. There's a lot of countries out there. There's a lot of different ways to move abroad and live abroad, but I'm always happy to share my personal experience. So y'all can let me know if y'all have any questions as well. Far right, there is a button to press for hearts. Oh, I think I have seen those. Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't really join people's Instagram lives, but I have before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. So if I press this button, okay, I see. So I can invite people to join that way, and then. Okay, I can share my own live. Let me see. Maybe I can share it with her. Oh, there we go. Here she is. View requests. And then Aggie about to put me in a little square. Wait, did it work? Let's see. Oh, Kanisha.
Hey girl, what's up?
Hello.
How's it going?
It is going well. Good morning to you.
Dark
Night.
outside. Yeah, it's 1 a.m.
Well, technically morning. Good night, Kanisha. It's
Yeah.
good to see you.
Yeah, girl. I don't know. The days and the nights they roll into each other.
Yeah.
So, I'll take it.
Yeah, listen, I remember how it is. Someone got on here and was like, good afternoon. And I'm like, it's still morning here. It's just, this is the life of traveling. But anyways, welcome, Kanisha, and thank you for joining.
Absolutely. Thank you for having
Of
me.
course, I'm really excited to talk to Kanisha today, y'all, because like I said, we met literally a year ago, which what is time? Because I don't know how that was a year ago, but we
Right.
literally met a year ago. Me and my husband met her and her husband,
Hmm.
Dean, in April back in Bangkok, and we have just stayed connected this entire time. And you hear these people who were like, "Oh my God, I've loved watching your journey." Like I feel like I have loved watching Kanisha's journey, and her and Dean, they y'all, they've had a journey. I'm gonna let her tell it, okay? I'm gonna let her be the one
Girl.
to tell it. And make sure you subscribe to them on YouTube too, because their journey is incredible. But let's go ahead and kick it off. First of all, who is Kanisha? Go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so again, thanks for having me. So I'm originally from New York, but I lived in many states in the US, and most recently I'm moving to Thailand from Atlanta, where I've lived for like 9 years. So we got married in Atlanta. We got married in New Orleans, but we met on Tinder, my husband and I, and blossomed our relationship. And in the midst of that, I was traveling the world and doing speaking engagements as a certified life and business coach. And so it really afforded me the opportunity to begin to build a global community very early on in my like young adult life, which is a blessing, right?
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened and I got stuck inside and like everybody else stressed, you know.
Yep.
Uh, and so as soon as I got an opportunity to travel again, we picked up all of our things and we just hit the road. And so we've been traveling and really just living our very best lives, mostly in Thailand and in Southeast Asia. But I am an all around, I'm a Jill of all trades. I do many things very well. So I don't really have like a title. Right now, I'm a project manager, I'm a consultant, I'm a content creator. I'm I do my hair, so I could put
All,
hairdresser under
all
there.
the things.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really driven by my spirit and the things that I really feel called to do. I'm very intentional in that way, and so I don't like box myself into being one version because I evolve very quickly, and my passions and what I love and all the things evolve with me. And so I just leave space. And so, like I said, right now I'm a project manager and a consultant, and I've been a teacher, and I've managed hotels, and I've worked for CEOs, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 7 years. So whatever I'm called to do, I just show up as my fullest, most highest self, and I get it done.
Let's get, listen. I'm here for it. Let's get it. And also, I feel like living abroad, or for me anyways, and I feel like you can probably relate, like, because I love how you were saying, like, oh, like you're not going to put yourself in one box or you have like one title. And I feel like in the United States, that is something that is so, so common. Like one thing that I learned whenever me and my husband left the US, meeting so many incredible people across the globe, meeting a lot of other people who were traveling, whether they were traveling full time or they were visiting, is like, we love to be like, well, what do you do? Right?
Yeah.
Like we be so ready to like put somebody in a box. Like, let me identify you. Tell me what your job is. And I think it's been such a beautiful journey for me because I feel like I lived in that space whenever I was in the US. Like I was very much tied to my title. And I
Mm,
felt like it got to a point where I was like, Bianca, you're not your job. You're not just your job. You're not just your business. Like you are a whole human. So
yeah.
I love how I love how you took us on that journey with you and let us know that like you're not just like, oh, this is what I am. We're all multifaceted. We're a lot of things.
Absolutely. And you're 100% right. I think it's culture in America, in the United States, to have to identify as something, because people, everything, society is always asking you, who are you,
Mm,
right? To relabel
mm,
yourself, to like super define yourself, to prove yourself even. And the rest of the world is so fluid in the way that they receive people. And so,
yeah,
not that I learned it traveling the rest of the world, but I did hone into it in traveling. And so
yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, today I'm a project manager. I might be a firewoman in 2 years. I have no idea. But if I'm called
Okay.
to do, I, whatever it is that I do what I want to do. That's just it. And it always works out because I'm intentional and
Yeah,
because I care. I'm passionate about things. And so, like you said, when you meet people around the world, you're not really focused on how they connect into your ecosystem. You're just meeting them with genuine openness because
yeah,
you don't, this human from wherever they're from. You have no ties. You don't even have to have ties. You don't have to talk to them ever again. And that's the beauty of it, is that you come with no attachment
yeah.
and you leave with no attachment, and you're like, cool. Like, I just met a whole bunch of beautiful strangers where I was, and yeah, that's the story.
Yeah. Oh, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful pieces of the story. Like I tell people all the time, like it always comes down to the connections, whether it's locals that are like from the country, whether it's meeting other people who are
Mm.
travelers, whether they're from the US or Canada or France or the UK or like wherever it is. Like it's definitely one of the most rewarding things, and it's why I do constantly encourage people, even if you don't want to live abroad, even if that feels like a big step for you, please get out there and see the world. Please get out of the United States, because you will literally be changed as a human when you start traveling. And Kanisha, like I've been in your ecosystem for a year and I'm already learning so much about you. So let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about how you first started traveling internationally. Like I want to hear how like Kanisha got into the abroad streets.
Yeah, so my first international trip was actually spring break in college. I went to Mexico, had, Cancun. You got to do like a Cancun run. So, of course, I did.
Yes.
I believe, yeah, I got my passport for that trip. And the thing about traveling was that it was never a question for me. My parents are both Jamaican. And so we just got here to,
Yeah.
like they came
Yeah.
over and my grandparents came over. They're not from here being the US. So it was never even a doubt in my mind to explore the rest of the world because we were from the rest of the world,
Yeah.
right? Like what it was. And my dad was in a band, and he taught me all about all the places that he went and performed. And so again, it wasn't far-fetched for me to like understand that I'm getting out of
Yeah.
here as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started, it never left me. And then I became a certified life coach in 2016. And like I said, I was doing those speaking engagements, and that was at least twice a year. So I did London and I did Paris and I did Dubai. And
Yes.
yeah, and so I'm just out here, and I'm solely going to have women's roundtables and solely going to talk at organizations that are women centered. And that felt really good, just to represent
Yeah.
around the world. And I was in rooms where I was the only Black woman sometimes, and that also felt like a norm to me at the time.
Yeah.
And so, what really has been encouraging is seeing more of us showing up in the spaces that once were very, that were anti,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and so yeah, I've been traveling deeply since 2010, when I first got my passport, and I was like, all right, y'all, I'm over it, never coming back. There's fruit over here, there's sun out here, it's cheaper over here. What's going on
Yeah.
with this? And that's been beautiful for
Yeah.
me.
No, that's dope. Like again, like I feel like I'm learning so much about you as well. We're gonna have to talk about some of these other places you've been, because I got some questions.
Okay.
I definitely got some questions here, but I also love, pointing out the fact that, you've mentioned that like, both of your parents are Jamaican, and how like that was something that was kind of like already instilled in you, because I feel like, and correct me, Dean is Caribbean as well, right?
Yeah, both of these parents are Caribbean too, so
Okay.
they're not from the US either.
Yeah, so like a lot of people will be like, "Oh my God, like how did you convince your husband to do this? Like how do I convince my husband?" And I'd be like, "Y'all, my husband is not from these lands, okay?" I'm like, I wish I could give you like a better. I wish I had some long drawn out story about how I got my very stereotypical American, U.S. husband. But I'm like, the fact of the matter is that is one of the really cool things about having international people in your life, whether you're married to them, whether you are them, whether it's your friends, whatever. Is like you start out with this global perspective. You don't have, even if you witness the propaganda and stuff in the US, even if you are witnessing, people talking about how dangerous travel is and the US is the best country, it's like by default you know better. And I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is a challenge there with getting your partner to be open. I think what I was blessed with was being from New York City and growing up with so many cultures on my block,
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. And it wasn't far-fetched for me, right? I had friends from Yemen in elementary school. I had friends whose parents were Irish in elementary school,
Mm.
already engulfed in culture. I was going to bar mitzvahs. We were celebrating Yom Kippur. Yeah,
Wow.
like, come on, they're my friends,
That's
all right? And
dope.
yeah, so it wasn't far fetched for me to understand culture, but I do think it's important to feel comfortable traveling before you travel. So even if you get your significant other, like for me, our second date was to a Thai restaurant. And I don't know how much Thai food Dean has had before me, but once he met me, I know we ran it up on the Thai food.
Yes.
Okay, so he had an appreciation for at least a piece of the culture, so that when I chose and I planned our honeymoon, which really convinced him to travel some more, I planned our honeymoon to Thailand, and that helped him to integrate and see what it was about and see what I had been talking about and all the things. But he already had an appreciation for the food before that.
Yeah.
And so I think just taking them on a little journey, maybe it's to a show that's centered in the culture, or maybe it's to restaurants that are really not American versions of
Yeah.
it, but the actual cultural versions of these meals and cuisines. Even those things are a way to integrate while you're still in the United States, to see if your partner has an appreciation. And then once you book the ticket, it's like, yo, I really want to go try this chicken satay over there
Yes.
now. Like, we love it here.
Yes.
Imagine how much we'll love it when we get over there.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that's important. And you got TikTok and you got all these Google vlogs, and travel content is all over the place.
Yeah.
So you have resource and you have people who look like you who are going to places. So you can just utilize that if you need
Yeah.
to.
No, I love that. Because I will often tell people, anybody who's like, I'm trying to convince a person, I will normally tell people, like, baby step them in, right? I'm like, listen, asking somebody to uproot their entire life and go live in another country, it's a big deal, okay? Like it's not a big deal and it's a big deal at the same time. And I know that you know what I mean whenever
Yep.
like whenever I
Yep.
say that. But so I would normally tell people, like, start off with just like a trip. Be like,
That's
let's go
it.
spend a week here. I mean, I try to tell people minimum 2 weeks, because anything less than that, like, it's just, you're really more like on a vacation. So like I typically tell people to ease their way in, but I love what you said about even starting in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like, well, you don't even got to start by getting on the plane. Okay, you're interested in you want to go to Korea, go to a Korean restaurant. Go to New York and go to Little Korea, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm from North Carolina. We listen, this whole New York background, this was not me. The way I grew up, you were black, white, or Mexican.
Okay.
And even the Mexicans were like in their own world. Like, you
Yeah.
just, like, the integration was not there. So it's another reason why I appreciate getting like the backstory of other people, because you really understand like the role that the entire world has played in each person's
Yeah.
life. And I love that each story gets to be unique. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of unique, tell me, why Thailand?
Oh, girl, I came here 4 days in like 2016, 2017, and I was like, oh, I'll see you soon. I'm one of the, I'm a very spiritual person. I am guided by my spirit, like I said earlier, just like intentional in that way. I feel good where I feel good. I don't feel good where I don't feel good. I'm very clear on that.
Period.
It doesn't take me 30 years. It doesn't take me that long. I can be in
Period.
somewhere in 4 minutes and be like, all right, let me go on ahead and head out because it's not giving for me,
Yeah.
you know? And so I've been to countries where I'm like, okay, it's like, I think Dubai was one of the most amazing places I've ever seen. I don't need to go there that often. I'm
Yeah.
good. Hot.
Yeah.
It's hot there. I'm like, and it's like, I've been in heat. I've been in Mexico heat. I've been in Bali heat. I've been in Thailand heat. I've been in the heat. But Dubai, I'm like, just break the egg on the concrete and cook it. Why
Dubai
don't you?
is worse than Thailand?
It's not that it's humid. It's that it's just hot. It's like desert heat
Uh,
is just dry and
uh,
hot. And
touche.
so there was that element, right? And Dubai is one of those places where you can feel like they put this together. Because why Eiffel Tower down the block from this building that looked like the Empire State Building, but then there's this gondola floating through the middle? Like, what? They just put all their favorite things together in a city, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
It's like, yep, this look too new. There's no dirt anywhere.
There's
Everything's
no
marble.
dirt.
Yeah, I'm like, it's sand, but it's not
Yeah.
dirty. It's like a beautifully clean marble floor. The sidewalks there are marble in some places. The mall. Yeah, I was like, this is not,
Wow.
but nobody
Wow.
walks there because it's too
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't dirty nothing because they in the car going from one place to the next place.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did have a ball. I definitely would go back to just to go with Dean because I like to experience things together.
Yeah.
But I don't. There's somewhere that I got there and I was like, oh my god, I love like. I was like, oh, this is cute. This is nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what y'all did. And now I'm going. So back to answer your question, I got to Thailand and I instantly was. I was like, oh yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
love
Mm-hmm. I could do
that.
this. I love Thai food already. It was something that I was like head over heels with back home. And the people just are, I just love Thai people. I don't know what
Yes.
it is about them. They're very kind, like genuinely kind people.
Yeah, they are.
And yeah, they cook food so well. They have all these treats and things like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
That's
I'm here for it.
that's what sold me.
Yeah. I feel like when people ask me what I like about Thailand, I'm like, what don't I like about Thailand?
Yeah. It's a little dirty. It's a little, but I'm from New York, and so I'm used to big cities being dirty. It is
Yeah.
what it is. There's so many people. How could you clean it? Right? It's
Yeah.
like too massive. Um, it gets hot. That's probably the thing that I'm like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
heat.
That's probably
But
the biggest downside I feel for me anyway. Like when people say like when people are like say one bad thing about Thailand, I'm like if you can't deal with the heat, don't go. I'm like
go,
cuz
like I said,
it is humid.
it's hot, hotter, and hottest are the three
Yeah.
seasons in the middle of rainy season at some point in
Yeah.
time, right? And so, like, if you can't deal with it, then this 100% is not the place for you.
Yeah.
But outside of it being, relatively reasonable living expenses, having fresh fruit food at your beck and call
Mm.
with the markets, all of the stalls and all of the foods from all of the places. There's just so much food everywhere.
Yeah.
Having that at your fingertips, the accessibility to be able to go down to the beach in Pattaya or the coast or Phuket, get to the mountains in Chiang Mai, get to the city in Bangkok. The
Yeah.
availability for it to be like a $40 flight to
Yeah.
do is
Yeah.
something that I'm like, yeah, if you don't come here, you'd actually be a little crazy.
Yeah.
Just try it. Just try
Yeah.
it.
No, I'm here for it. And I think also like there's something in the air in Thailand other than the air pollution. There-
It's polluted. It's polluted.
yeah,
It's
it is.
polluted.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's an air of freedom in Thailand that is so hard to put into words. And
Yeah.
I have told people, I mean, the amount of people who will say, what is the best? What is the best? And I'm always like, y'all, there is no best. What is best for me is not going to be best for you. That's not how it works. I was
Yeah.
like, it's hard for me to explain. Like, I can tell you the food is good. I can tell you people are nice. I can tell you I love the culture, but I will never be able to explain to you whenever I am in a country for less than 24 hours, less than 2 hours, and I'm like, oh, this could be home.
Mm.
And I'm like, as somebody who has been to 24 different countries, I'm like, there are only 4 countries on this planet that where I was there and like in less than 24 hours. I mean, when I tell you, me and Mel were not in Thailand, and mind you, I never expected it like Bangkok. I was like, it's just gonna be another city.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another city. It'll be like, oh, we had our Airbnb booked for 5 nights in Bangkok.
How long you stay?
Child, we ended up
How long?
doing like 7 weeks.
Yeah.
We fell in love.
Yeah, it's you're right. It's a freedom. It's a peace. It's a
Yes.
peace that's
Yeah.
here that is probably founded in some Buddhist, Buddhist teachings and understandings because they're mostly Buddhist. But it's just a peace. Like you come here, you're like, I'm breathing. I'm breathing. Oh my God, look at me
Yep.
breathing, right? Or
Yep.
you'll be like, I'm walking down the street. It's late. Nobody's bothering me. Oh shoot, because you're so used to having to have these things at the forefront of your mind, especially living in the US. You
Yeah.
have to watch your six. You having to watch at the pump. You
Ooh.
can't go to this. You can't do. I'm coming from Atlanta and New York. There's just things that you're not going to be able to do and feel at peace doing it.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be vigilant. You got to have your head on a swivel. You got to be mindful of this. It's just so many things that when you get to a place and you're like, oh shoot, I haven't checked my phone in X, Y, and Z, or I haven't had a headache in so long.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that your body is automatically regulated just by being in a safer space.
Yeah.
And I believe that even though Bangkok is such a huge city, even Bangkok is safe,
Yeah.
right?
Agreed.
And the government here don't play, so
Yeah.
they will get.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I completely agree. And I think another thing, like for me and Thailand specifically, is just the lack of judgment. It's like Thailand, what is that saying where it's like, and this is for the US, where it's like to be in New York, you got to be successful to thrive in New York, you got to be successful. To thrive in LA, you have to be famous. And it's like to thrive in New Orleans, you just have to be yourself. Like I feel similarly to that. I feel like the New Orleans piece, I feel like that's Thailand.
Mm,
Like, y'all, they don't
they
care.
don't.
Like they do. Like you walk outside of the US, you see somebody with like like you don't, God forbid, a nail chips. You feel like the dirtiest, most trashiest. Like,
No,
oh my God, they're gonna think I mean, these people in Thailand, you might see somebody walking down the street with one flip flop and they have more joy than you. They have more peace.
hundred
They have
percent.
more serenity in their heart than you have ever had with all of your cars and houses and all of these things. And this is another thing that me and my husband really loved about Thailand. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was looking back at some of our photos and I was like, babe, we was slumming it. Like some of the days, like you can tell, like,
Yeah.
but you know what? You see the smiles in our on our faces, and you're like, who cares? Who
Yes.
cares that my brain should have been taken out 2 weeks ago? Like, I don't even, and nobody cares.
No, girl,
Nobody cares
at
at
all. And I love it for us.
all.
And I mean, to your point, I remember the first trip that I took to Thailand back in 2017. Yeah, I believe it was 2017. I I was in Phuket with my godmom, and we were just on the beach. We had finished on the beach, and we were like eating at this restaurant that was not too far. Some little restaurant that we found. It was not fancy. I think it had like 4, 5 seats outside of it. It was just, it was very small
Yeah,
seafood spot. And this little boy was across the street, and he had no shoes on, and he just had this ball, and he was having a ball with the ball by
yeah,
himself. And I was like, look how much fun he's had. He's not even playing with anybody. He don't even have no shoes on to play. There's no goal. But he was like chuckling by himself. He was having such a great time with that ball. And I get that it's the innocence of kids. But like, I don't know where his parents are. And he wasn't worried about that either. And nobody's taking that little boy.
no,
Nobody's taking him. He's
he's
chilling. He's
unbothered.
playing. And he had a little tank top shirt thing with a little pamper situation on. And that man was living. Okay, I don't even remember him having on any like underwear because again we're by the beach, right? So the kids were just like wild and free. And
Yeah,
even that like love to see a kid be able to be a kid without having to be like, watch that car, watch that. You know, he's just at peace with the
Yeah.
ball. And I was like, I feel like him when I'm here.
Yeah.
I feel at peace with
Yes.
the same shirt that I had on yesterday, and I feel at peace with my roots
Woo!
doing,
Honey.
and I feel at peace with my legs hairy a little bit because I ain't have to, like whatever the case is,
Yeah.
I just felt so at peace with myself. And you're right, like nobody cared.
Nobody cares. This
And
and
they
I'm
still
telling y'all,
fly.
like, y'all hear us saying this, but when you get to Thailand and you feel it, that's why people don't want to leave. Like
You don't want to
that's why. Go ahead.
because you know what you're going home to. You know you're going home to judgment. You know you're going home to a lot of noise, and
Yeah.
you're like, yo, I've heard nothing. It's been silent. My head is not running. Like you slow down. You can feel your breath differently.
Yeah.
You're like paying attention to your body differently. You're paying attention to other people differently. You may not be as angry or as snippy or like you start to peel back all the layers that you've had to wear to be safe where you were, and
Yeah.
you realize that just being in your body, you're safe enough there. And that,
Yes.
like, such a peaceful thing.
Yes. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been talking about the sunshine and the daisies and all the things that are amazing about living abroad, moving abroad. Let's get a little raw real quick. Let's talk about the not so sexy side. And obviously, I know there's been a lot of things in your journey of moving abroad, living abroad, etc., whether it's Thailand specific or whether it's just a journey. So tell us, what has been one of your biggest challenges in like the process transition in terms of moving abroad from the United States to live your life in Thailand?
I mean, definitely the sacrifice. It's not easy to do. It looks fun and it does have its moments, but it's a sacrifice at all times.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not with my family. I'm not close to them.
Mm,
Time zones. Oh, you're not up? Okay, I
yeah.
forgot. Oh, you sleep? Okay, like, I'm missing my nieces and my nephews growing up and missing a lot of their moments, and I won't make it for birthdays and
Yeah.
holidays, and it is a lot of sacrificing from my family and my friends, from our people, and it gets difficult when you just want to be near your people.
Yeah.
You can't be there, and that's tough. Um, but the transition, we've been preparing for such a long time that it wasn't challenging. By that time, we were like, all right, we are done with this shit. We're out of
Yes.
here. Give it all, take it.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't care about it. We got to a point where we were like, we're tired of seeing this place. We just need to get out of here. So we gave away when we were in Thailand for 4 months, 3, 4 months last year, and that's when we met y'all. And then we went back to the U.S. and we had a flood in our townhome, and it demolished the whole house. And so we weren't even in our house in this state. So we're like, we definitely are uncomfortable. It's
Yeah.
like, what are we even doing here? And so by the time we got our house renovated and got back in it, we were like, whose house is this? This don't even look like a house no more. So we were really like, yo, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And we chucked the deuces and went on our way. And so it wasn't difficult to like leave things,
Yeah.
but it is a challenge to leave your people. It's always going to be
Yeah.
challenging to do. And then a language barrier. Depending on where you go, you don't speak the language. Thai is not an easy language to just pick up.
Mm-mm.
You can't speak. You can speak Spanglish in Spanish speaking
Yeah.
countries. You could try your luck, but you can't speak. I don't even know what Thai and English together is, but you can't speak it
Yeah.
because it's not the same thing. And so that's always when you go to different countries, you have to get on board with the language barrier, use your apps, and it's just
Practice patience.
yes, because these people are not running and they are taking their times at all
Yeah.
times. So it's like, okay, you have to recalibrate and just celebrate the fact that you've made it here,
Yeah.
but also acknowledging that, yeah, this shit ain't easy. It's cool, but it ain't easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. When stuff going left here, I'm like, dang, I don't even speak this language. What can I do? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta figure out other methods where it would be so easy to like call customer service in the US or,
Yep.
phone with a manager, whatever. They don't run like that here. So
Yeah.
now you figure it out differently. And
Yes.
yeah, like you said, it takes patience and it takes time to learn. But when you build community in places, it just makes the difficulties a lot more. It makes them not easy. I was gonna say that 'cause when I'm lying. It makes them come
Like
at
more
you.
manageable.
Yeah, you get through it with more
Yeah.
ease, but it doesn't,
Agreed.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah. And I also think that like coming from the US, it's made me realize that we always think the sky is falling in the US. Like
because it
outside of
is.
the people who actually have real problems in the US, most people in the US, y'all, we ain't got problems. Like we don't. And like some people don't like to hear me say that. They're like, oh, well, you don't know my life. And I'm like, bruh, I have seen homeless people who have more joy than you do. And I'm literally looking at you with your health. I'm looking at you as somebody who's able to afford dropping $100 on brunch. Somebody that owns 200 pairs of things that other people on this other side of the world would not even be able to wrap their brains around. Like,
Right.
and then once you get out of that mindset. And I love what you said when you were like, it wasn't that hard for us to leave the stuff, because I feel like that's another big thing being in the US and like this consumerism, very capitalistic culture. And at the end of the day, capitalism has its advantages and disadvantages. I'm not going to deny that. But once you become aware of how like mentally trapped so many of us are or have been,
Mm-hmm.
being attached to stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is a shift. Like I literally tell people it was easier for me and Mel to leave the United States than it was whenever I just moved like to a different apartment. Because once
Yeah.
you're in the mindset of I am shedding, these things don't make me, these things don't
Right.
make my life, they don't make me happy. Like we were in a 3-story townhome and we were happier living out of a suitcase in a 1-bedroom apartment in Thailand than
Yeah.
we were in the US with the house and the cars and the garage and like and all the things. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, you have to get out here and experience these things yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can watch us on live, you can consume the content, but that feeling, you got to get that on the ground.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, again, like Thailand is not for everybody. Don't come this
For
far.
sure.
Your weird whack energy over here if that's what you got. We
Yeah.
don't need that. But I do think that everyone should travel. I do think that everyone deserves to have a passport and that you deserve to not just go to the Bahamas and Puerto Rico and the DR, not no shade to them places, right? Because they're all right there for
Yeah.
us as well. But the world is so
It's so
big
big.
and you do yourself such a disservice when
Yeah.
you I was okay, really quickly. I was
Go
watching
ahead.
Love Spectrum today on Netflix. I don't know if
Oh,
you've been.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's about
Yeah.
people who are on the spectrum of autism and how they fall in love and how they work through their things.
Yeah.
And one of the that there's like a coach who works with some of the people on the show just to get them ready for dating when they've never really done it.
Yeah.
And so she was talking to one of the girls today about just getting outside of your comfort zone. And I think people are so black and white with it. They're like, I'm either in my house in my neighborhood or I ain't going all the way over there. It's like, okay, so how many countries are in between? Like, can we go
Yeah.
somewhere? And so she talked
Yes.
about, you have your comfort zone and then you have your learning zone, which is
Mm.
out of your comfort zone, but not as far as to make you anxious or make you feel like you're making a bad
Yeah.
decision. But you do have to be willing to step right outside of that comfort zone. And so I think if people can acknowledge what they're comfortable with and then say, okay, this would make me a little bit uncomfortable to go that far, but I'm willing to do that instead of
Yeah.
feeling gotta travel all the way to Bali and they gotta
Yeah.
travel all the way to Paris and they gotta come all the way. Like, you don't have to come all the way over here.
Yeah.
Don't come over.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go to
Exactly.
Mexico. Go to Canada. Go
Yeah.
to some other safe country. There's so many Caribbean islands to go visit, and they're all very unique,
Yeah.
right? Like go to wherever it's safe in Central and South America. Go try something else
Yeah.
that not what you're used to, and they all speak English, and they got the products that I like, so that's why I go there. Like, go out a little bit
Yeah.
further, and I think that people don't realize how much they grow when they have these experiences. And so for me, traveling became a drug, not because, oh, I want to see these places, which I did. It's because I loved who I was becoming when I traveled. I was like, oh my God,
Mm.
I feel so well rounded. I know a little bit more. I have such an appreciation for different cultures and
Yes.
different thoughts. You know, I've seen things like I've been to the Palace of Versailles. I've seen luxury. So now luxury is defined differently,
Yeah.
right? Wealth is defined differently when you see it differently. And so I think that people they underestimate how much they evolve with travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Child, it's Kanisha, that's what I be out here preaching. That's what I'm telling you. These are literally the same things that I always try to instill into my audience. And I'm like, especially coming from someone who came from a world where people weren't talking about traveling.
Mm.
Okay. Like people, like it was not a thing. And recognizing how, hindsight is 2020. It's so easy for me to see like how ignorant I was before I started traveling, and now like I will be forever changed. And
Yeah.
each time you go to a new place and you appreciate a different culture, you just get to learn, and you just get to evolve. And maybe you've already answered this question, because I know that we've talked about a lot of the great things about living abroad, but if you could narrow it down to one thing, what do you feel like has been your greatest reward from this journey of living abroad, like truly having an entirely different life? And I'm saying that for the people who are watching, because a lot of people are like, oh, your life is a permanent vacation. And I'm like, I can understand I can understand why it seems that way. I can understand the mentality of, oh, if you're in a different country by default, you are vacationing, right? But there's a difference between traveling and vacationing. And then there's a difference between traveling and living abroad. So what do you
Mhm.
feel like has been your greatest reward from living a life outside of the United States?
The people. I'm such a people
Yep.
person. I
Yep.
can't even do it myself. It's like I love people so much. I mean, like I said, I managed hotels. I graduated with a degree in hospitality. I knew that I wanted to be in the hospitality industry because I just love places, and
Yeah.
I knew I was going to travel. And so I've met so many cultures from birth. Really, I grew up
Yeah.
around all of it. And so being able to go to people's countries and talk to their parents or their kids, or meet their wives and their
Yeah.
husbands, or have dinner with people, or try a new dessert, or go to this
Yes.
thing, but with the people, not with just Dean and I. We're immersed in culture when we show up and meet people. And like we met y'all. Like it was just a painting
Yeah.
event that we loved at the dispensary that we were in, and every time we go there, it's like family. Like they like us.
Yeah.
They're so happy to see us. And these people don't know who we are. They don't even care about all that. They're just
Yep.
happy that you're here and that you're alive and you're well. And so just the level of community that I've been able to craft by just being in spaces
Yeah.
is amazing to me. It's like I'll go on a plane or go to the airport, and I'll say to Dean, none of these people know me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you in the mall, and none of they don't know that I even
Yep.
exist. They don't have to. And so when I connect with people, I think that's something that's very divine to me. That, man, out of all these people that who knows me, you met me, you vibe with me, you don't have to know my backstory to do that. That to me is such a giving, like a reciprocal gift.
Yeah.
Like mutually beneficial. Like, oh my God, you added something to my life, and I hope I do the same for you. um and so that is the number one most rewarding thing for me. If I wasn't going to meet the people and I wasn't going to engage or immerse myself, I probably wouldn't be traveling as
Yeah.
much. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. beautifully said.
Thank
And
you.
I agree. I think it comes down to the people. It comes down to the relationships, whether that relationship is a 10-minute conversation at a bus stop, or whether that relationship is a 1 hour event, or if you hang out again and again. I just I'm here for it, Kanisha. I'm so lit to come back to Thailand. We coming back next year. Like
We'll be
we
here.
trying to be like we keep making these like remarks about possibly coming back this year, and we be like, chill, chill, okay,
It's here.
chill.
Come on
I
over.
know.
We'll be here for sure this year, next year. I'm sure we'll try to get to. Right now, we're actually in Vietnam, so we're
I was gonna
exploring.
ask if you were still in Vietnam.
Yeah, we're here. We're actually applying for our DTV visas from Vietnam, so we're here until we get that all set up, so that we can go back to
Are
Thailand.
you still
That's
in Da Nang?
yeah. I'm still in Danang.
Okay.
Are you? Have you been here?
I've never been to Da Nang, but we were in Hanoi for a month last year. So like I was wanting to ask you how do you like
We
Vietnam?
have a conversation about this because now I need to know. I need to know what is up with it. Okay, we'll talk
Oh,
about that. But but what was I gonna say? Yeah, man, the people, like, just the love. I Really quickly, I remember talking to this lady. I was in London Heathrow Airport, and I was waiting for my connecting flight. And then I
mhm.
met this black woman who was British, I want to say,
Yeah.
and her husband was Swiss. And we had a long conversation about love
Oh,
and her children. And she emails me, like, I still have her email, so in communication. And she invited me. She's like, whenever you're in Switzerland, please let me know. You could come stay with me if you want to. And I'm like, girl, I will take you up on your offer. Do not
and
play with
will
me. Yeah,
and will.
yeah. It's like things like that, and people don't be expecting me to pull up again, but I am good for pulling up on
Period.
people. Yeah, like, don't,
Period.
if you invite me, I'll come over there. So,
Yeah.
ask somebody else. And so I think it's those things that you never know who you're gonna talk to. You never know what they do. You never know where you. It just, even here in Da Nang, we were at brunch. They have first Sunday brunch,
Yeah.
and this woman who I've never seen her before. I just got here a couple days before that. It's our first time going out, and she went to my same high school,
Wow.
girl.
Wow.
Cause what? I mean, we didn't go at the same time. She was older than I
But
was. She went like the
still,
7th. But my high school, and
cha.
we figured it out because she was like, "You look familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?" And I'm like, "Girl, I be outside, so I mean, like, my face be everywhere sometimes." So yeah, it's a thing. And she's like, "No, no, no. I know you from somewhere closer, family wise." And so we started going down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
Got to New York, got to Queens, and she was like, "Man, that's where I'm from." And I'm like, "I don't live there, but." So we finally narrowed it down. And she was like, "Where'd you go to school?" And I told her the name of my high school. She was like, "I went to that high school." I'm
That's
like,
wild.
what are the odds that we'd be in the same city, in the same country,
Yeah.
at the same event for Black people, and
Yeah.
we'd have gone to the same high school in Queens, New York?
Cha. People, you can't make it up. Like
You can't.
people think these stories are an exaggeration. I think that's another thing that I love about travel is it shows you the world is huge, and it shows you the world is small.
At the same.
And literally at the same time,
Yeah.
Kanisha, at the same time. Like last
Yeah.
year, there were people we hung out with in Vietnam, and then they ended up and we weren't even supposed to go to Colombia last year. There were people we met in Vietnam, and then I hung out with them again in Colombia.
I love that.
Like I'm like, what are we even doing here meeting again?
How?
What is happening? There's a girl in Colombia, one of the women who I met there. She's now here in Mexico, so we're gonna hang out with her at some point. And I'm like,
I love it.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, travel
It's so
just,
good. It's so good. Somebody from Atlanta who we share the same birthday, she was just out here, and I pulled up on her at the market. And I haven't seen her, we're cool that's my homegirl, but I don't see her like that. But if you out here and I'm out here, then we
yeah,
together. So I went pulled up on her. Another woman, well, even Dean in Thailand, we did a
yeah,
friendsgiving this past November out there with Adventures While Black. And in walks somebody that he used to work with in LA 10 years ago. And she just walked into Friendsgiving. Like, hello?
You
You
can't make it
know,
up.
what? What's
You cannot
happening?
make it up.
And I love it for us. I think it's beautiful. I mean, Chiang Mai, we were walking down a block in Chiang Mai, ran into a couple, and they happened to be from Atlanta. And next thing you know, the week after that, we went to Phuket, and they're in Phuket. And then they went out to dinner with us for Dean's birthday. Like, yeah. So these are the stories that I live for, and these are the
Yeah.
things that I think really, outside of just going and seeing museums and seeing monuments and
Yeah.
going to, whatever restaurant, it's really being a part of a space where even when you're thousands of miles away from where you're from, you're still connected to where you're from, and these people are connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're all connected. No matter, even though we don't want to, some people, we don't want to believe it, but y'all, we're all connected.
Good luck to them kids. I'm not trying to fight the universe on truth. Okay, that's a universal truth,
Yes, I
right?
was about to say that's law, baby. That's law.
Yeah. Some of these Thai people remind me of Caribbean people. I tell them that all the time. Y'all are the Jamaican Asians, okay? Because they are like, take your shoes off at the door. The way they measure rice with their finger.
Yeah.
This is a thing that everybody does.
Yeah.
And to see them do this, I'm like, I know. I was at a cooking class, and she was like, "How do you measure the water and the rice?" And I put my hand up, and she was like, "How'd you know?" I'm like, "How'd you know,
That's
girl? What
so
you mean?" Like,
funny. And Mel actually taught me that, and he's from West Africa. I didn't even cook rice before this man came into my life. Now my entire life is rice.
Right, right. And so again, it's like, how did we all know that, right? It's not just like, how black people from different places get together and we kind of just move one band,
Yeah.
one sound. It's like that in the world. The world is so
Yeah.
connected. And once you start exploring, you start realizing, oh, I'm not by myself out here.
Yeah.
There's mountains out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful. This whole conversation has been beautiful, Kanisha. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
just
you.
your openness, your transparency, and just
Anytime.
all of it. And for the people who are like, I need more of Kanisha, where do we find you? How can we
I
stay
will
connected?
drop. Yeah, so I will put my personal and our relationship or marriage travel couples content page as well. So on Instagram at it's Kenisha B, KENISHA, and then the letter B. And then our marriage couples travel lifestyle page is it's the Beresfords. And I tagged it in here.
Perfect.
But I also have a podcast. It's called From the Ground to the Crown. So if you're
Yes.
into yeah, pull up on me on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, and yeah, join us there. Join us on YouTube. We're outside TikTok. We're on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Yes, y'all make sure y'all connect with Kanisha because her content is dope. You can just see the freedom in her face out there living her best Thailand life.
Yeah,
Okay.
girl. And that's what I was gonna say earlier, really quick before we get off. I was gonna say that even if we were out here with silver spoons, it's the freedom that we chose out here, right? And so people will say, "Oh, your life looks like a vacation," and is a
Mm.
vacation. Okay, every day feels like a break for me because
Yeah.
I've worked hard and I've created, and I'm constantly creating. I'm constantly reinventing. I'm constantly sacrificing, so yeah,
Yeah.
it better look like a goddamn vacation because I'm putting in
Yeah.
the work for it. And
Exactly.
and if yeah,
Because that's the piece right there is like because you're putting in the work, you have the intention behind it. Like the amount of people who have said like you're living my dream. I'm like, but did you work for it? Like I'm like,
is
I'm living
it your
your dream, but
dream?
like
Is it your
you
dream?
see these highlights on here. You're talking about I'm living your dream, but I'm like, how many things have you failed at lately? When's the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone?
Well, why
How many no's have you heard in the last 6 months? I'm living your dream. Nah, sis, I'm living the life that I created brick by brick.
absolutely. And if it was your dream, why you not living it?
Okay. Okay.
Stop. sleeping, girl. You better wake
They
up.
don't want
Time to stop dreaming.
us to ask those questions, Kanisha.
And I don't be asking those questions. I don't believe that everybody deserves to travel. I believe that people will, again, make travel toxic if they come with bad energy.
Yeah.
So stay your weird ass home and stay home. I don't care about none of that. I don't think everybody should be outside. I don't believe, like, stay home
Yeah.
in your garage or wherever you stay
Yeah.
at. Do that thing that you love doing. But if you do enjoy traveling and you want to explore and you want to be friends, yes, pull up. I love community.
Yes. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like I will say up and down, like living abroad, like it's not for
No,
everybody. And for
no,
those of you who are diehard, the US is the best country in the world, then stay there. Because
please.
I'm not gonna try to convince you to leave. Like I am never going to try to convince anybody. Like I always say, if your spirit feels called, then make it happen. And if
Yeah.
it
You
doesn't,
gotta.
then don't. That's it.
Period. Period. And
Yes.
you got to be brave, right?
Yeah.
It's not like just, oh, I got a vision. You got to be really brave to travel. It's not easy. You got all these bugs and bellies. You know, you get a stomach bug and you eat the wrong food. And there's so
You
many things. We had an
your flight, your Airbnb is ghetto. You didn't get no cash, and now you can't. I mean,
things.
we could probably do a whole
Oh,
live on all of the ghetto things that come with travel.
girl, we was just in an earthquake here in Bangkok. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole thing.
Yeah,
We did not move there for no earthquake,
yeah,
but we also not leaving because it was an earthquake either.
yeah,
Okay, so that is just what it is, but it comes with the territory when you decide to be brave and step out on a limb and do something differently. And you also get rewarded by
yeah,
living life that feels like you're on vacation every day.
yeah. That's it. That is
Yeah.
it. Oh, speaking of, I'm about to go to the pool. Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
We just got to a new Airbnb yesterday, and look, Mel thought I was exaggerating. I said, "Oh no, I'm about to be in this pool multiple times a week." Yesterday was our first day. I was in that pool by myself, floating,
I
looking
love
up. You know what I saw? A blue sky and a palm tree. I said, "Thank you, God."
so
I,
grateful.
I just said, "Thank you, God." I
Yeah.
don't even know how I got here, but thank you, God.
And you ain't worried about it.
Nope,
Love
nope.
that. Congratulations.
Thank you again, Kanisha. Y'all make sure that y'all connect with her because honestly, like I said, her content is phenomenal. Whether you watch this live, thank you. Whether you're watching the replay, thank you. And yeah, that's really it, y'all. So thank y'all again, Kanisha. Thank you again.
Thanks,
Go. I
girl.
know. Good night. I don't know.
I'm about to go shower and tap out just now. I don't know if
Period.
you hear these people out the window. I don't know what they're doing out there, but they better quiet it down. The girl is about to take it. All right, sis. Thank
I'm
you.
here for it. Of course, Kanisha. And tell Dean I said hello. And yeah, we'll chat again soon. We got to talk Vietnam.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll chat again soon.
Okay. Tell Mel we said hi.
I will.
All
Bye.
right.